Colombia, Bogota. Fabio, a drug lord and his boss, is speaking with Don Luis. Fabio informs him that he is leaving the cartel and will delegate all bookkeeping duties to another associate. Don Luis smiles and says he will miss him as they toast Fabio's life. Don Luis motions to Marco, his right-hand man, and says, "Kill him." But Fabio is not a fool. He is aware that his boss will declare war against anyone who wishes to leave the life of drug smuggling, including himself. Fabio gathers 3 loyal guards and rushes home, knowing they only have an hour to leave the country. When Fabio returns home, he tells his wife, Alicia, that it's time. He instructs his young daughter, Catalia, to pack, but she declares that she is already prepared. Fabio advises her to go to the American embassy and give them a microchip if something goes wrong. It contains all of the details about Don Luis's illegal activities. "It's your passport," he says, giving her his brother's address. Fabio then presents his daughter with his Catalia flower necklace. She was given the name after it, because his mother grew them all the time. "Never lose sight of who you are," he advises. Marco and several cartel members arrive minutes later and slaughter Fabio's men. Fabio and Alicia grab guns and try to hold off the men, but they are killed off-screen. Catalia sits stunned at the table, listening to the gunfire. Marco and the other men approach Catalia. Marco pretended to be friendly, claiming to be a friend of her father, but Fabio stole something from Don Luis, the microchip. Marco asks if she knows where it is, and she nods. Marco asks as to what she desires. Catalia leans in, and stabs him in the hand with a knife placed under the table. "To kill Don Luis," screams Catalia. Catalia snatches her way through a window and onto a ledge. It appears, her parents taught her survival skills in case something like this happened. She swallows the microchip quickly. While Marco's cartel goons pursue her, she escapes. Despite the presence of parkour runners, men on motorcycles, and men in cars, Catalia vanishes into the sewers. She opens a manhole cover and walks to the U.S. Embassy, where she is directed to an agent who inquires about her father. Catalia claims he is no longer alive. When the man asks if her father has anything for him, Catalia quickly forces herself to vomit and hands him the microchip. It contains all of Don Luis's activities. The agent looks at her in surprise and asks if she knows what she is. Catalia says, "My passport." They get her out of the country and papers in return for the chip. She is being escorted to Miami by an American CIA agent. Catalia requests to use the restroom and then leaves through the window. She buys a bus ticket to Chicago, where her father instructed her to go. She walks into a dark neighborhood and asks for Emilio. Emilio is Fabio's brother and her uncle. When Emilio sees her, he is overcome and hugs her. Catalia is finally able to let go and wept in her uncle's arms. She wakes up the next morning in her uncle's apartment and goes downstairs for breakfast. Her grandmother is there, preparing her breakfast. Catalia inquires as to whose room she slept in. Emilio is depressed and says it was his son's room and that he is no longer alive. Emilio asks her about a drawing she did, and she says she used to want to be like Xena, but not anymore. Emilio inquires as to what she desires at this time. "To be a killer, will you assist me?" Catalia asks. "Sure," Emilio says. The next day, Emilio takes her to a private prep school and bribes the principal to accept her in the middle of the school year. Catalia is enraged as they leave because she believes she will learn nothing at school. She needs to learn how to be an assassin. Emilio pulls out a revolver and shoots at a car driver, causing it to crash. He tells her that hired killers are plentiful, that he could teach her, and she'd be dead in 5 years. If she wants to do this and be smart, she must attend school. She must understand how people think. Catalia is paying attention to him.